Hey, everybody, halftime. It is 65-45 Sacramento over Charlotte. This is exactly what the Kings need to do against an inferior team. Don't mess around. Take care of business. Up 20 at the half, Jerry. I mean, that's, again, exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this team needs to get a win and certainly need to establish a little something offensively and defensively. They did that. They're playing a very, very poor Charlotte team, but that's what you're supposed to do to a bad team: beat the crap out of them.
Yep.
Jerry, how'd you like the energy from the start tonight from this Kings unit?
Oh, I liked it. I mean, no question. You saw right away the double on LaMelo Ball. So you knew that they were going to come out and get after him, and there's nothing you shouldn't like. I mean, especially Levine getting into his offensive flow, and a really good first half against a very poor team.
Still a little careless with the ball. 8 turnovers, too much against this Charlotte team. That's the one thing I'd like to see cleaned up.
Yeah, that is always the danger. I think the Domas in particular had a couple of just real careless trying to make plays that you don't need to make. Just the defense will give you everything you want, so you don't have to force anything.
He had 3 turnovers.
And he tried to slam the ball through the floor.
Yeah. Hey, guys, not to deviate away from this game, how about Minnesota tonight? They were down 24 points in the fourth quarter, down 24 points in the fourth quarter, and outscored the Thunder to force overtime, and they won the game in Oklahoma City, shorthanded, no Gobert, no Randall, no DiVincenzo, and they go in and beat the Thunder with a 24-point fourth quarter comeback. That's amazing.
That really is. And I mean, that's a real probably wake up call for both teams. I think, Minnesota's been playing a little less than their ability. I think, of course, they've got some excuses with all the injuries, but Oklahoma City's been just kind of riding high, feeling like they got the number one spot sewed up, and they're going to be come out of the West. And I think there's some things to be determined before that.
Minnesota now is 5 games over 500, so they're starting to get their act going a little bit. And the question is, can the Kings duplicate that? I'm going to say probably not with their schedule that they have upcoming, but you never know. That's why you play the games, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we saw tonight in the first half, much more structured offensively. It will work against a good team if you run it the way the Kings ran it tonight in the first half. Let's see next if they can put 48 minutes together and do it for an entire game. Jerry, no Trey Lyles in that first half. Any thoughts there?
No, I'd like to know, obviously we weren't told much about it. Is he hurt, or are they just for Doug not to use him at all? That would be interesting. Certainly he went to his bench early and often.
And hopefully Keon Ellis is not going to have any issues. We saw what happened with him with the ankle, so hopefully he'll be okay in the second half.
Well, yeah, he might be as valuable as about anybody. I really was glad to see Coach Christie go to him early, get him on the floor early, and I thought that had a good bit to do with kind of stretching the game out.
What does this Markelle Fultz look like to you, Jerry, and how important can he be to what the Kings are trying to do?
It really looks like to me he might be able to help his team a lot. He certainly is a natural point guard, he so far his brief minutes, he shot the ball much better than his history would indicate. That's been the weakness of him, and there's plenty of evidence for that, but his shot looks good, and he can get the ball and easy to spots. And then plus he's a good on-ball defender, so he brings a lot of what the Kings need, a guy who can make plays and guard somebody.
Fultz played 7 minutes in that first half, was 1 of 3 from the floor, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. Did not have an assist, no turnovers, but, again, certainly not hurting the team. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, and I think really with Malik of late, I think is just playing out of control too much. And I think that with Fultz now that they've got a little bit of an answer there. If Malik, Malik's a heck of a player, but just take what the defense gives you, and not try to make plays all the time, which I think he's gotten to do a little too much
Yeah,
here
and it
of
gives
late.
Malik an opportunity to be off the ball, which is something that we have not seen a lot of with De'Aaron gone. And also, Jerry, you talk about pressure on defense. Markel's picking up half court. He's providing that physicality.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, which that's always been a pretty good thing with Markel Fultz. I mean, everybody would say he's a good on-ball defender, and with Keegan and Ellis, now you got three guys that can get out there and get after it, and definitely can put some pressure on the ball, and that makes a lot of difference. For
All right, I got the
team.
Kings winning this one, 135-97. What do you think, Rhino?
I have them winning, not as much. I'm going to say 128 to 109. Jerry?
132-101. But I don't see anything other than a romp. This final score just be determined by how much the second unit plays.
And the Hornets coming off just one of the worst losses we've seen ever in the NBA the other night. What was it, 141-88 to Portland? That's embarrassing. And I thought Charlotte might come back and play with a little bit more oomph, but they look like a bunch of dead horses, to borrow your term, Jerry, on the floor. They look like they are waiting for game 82 to be over so they can get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, and boy, LaMelo Ball, it seems like he has really regressed as a player. It doesn't seem like he can move the ball very well. Or
looks terrible.
And he was 1 of 10 last night against Portland. No factor at all. I don't know if the injuries have taken a toll on him, but doesn't look like the young all-star that we saw.
Hard to believe this team beat the Lakers the other night. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah, that is. I mean, but boy, this league, just like you pointed out with Minnesota. I mean, anytime you think you got it figured, this league will remind you you don't.
That was a personal game for LaMelo being back in Los Angeles, but I thought Adam Silver has a good 10 to 15 second commercial where LaMelo rebounded the ball under the hoop, dribbled it all the way out to the corner, and shot a fadeaway three. That is a good NBA PSA for you, gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly what's killing the league.
So the Kings trying to go to a game over 500 and keep pace with the Warriors, who are now 30-27. A win here would put Sacramento at 29-28 with a bad Utah team coming up next. They only have 14 wins too. So these are must-win games. That make no mistake about it. These are must-win games, because the schedule gets very difficult as soon as the calendar hits March.
Yeah, you won't get any gimmies after these two, and so they have to be W's. As simple as that, because now the schedule really does get tough, and you're going to have to earn every W and play your very best to have a chance.
No doubt about it. As John Finch and you guys say, that's why they play him.
Yep. We'll be on after the game as well. We'll take your phone calls. We'll hopefully have the beam lit. If the beam's not lit, I'm not doing the show. I'll just let Rhino do it by himself.
Yeah, if this beam doesn't get lit tonight, I mean, man, the fat lady will be out there singing loud.
Oh boy, yeah, the fat lady will be singing, and I'll be singing right with her. Because if they were to lose this game, and I said this on my show today, this season would be over. I mean, I'm sorry, you lose this game tonight, your season's done. You're going to go into a downward spiral. But this is exactly what I expected. Now you have to, as Rhino said, let's see if you can put 48 minutes of good basketball together. Kings have not been able to do that.
No, that's the key, and Rhino's right. I mean, we need to see the same effort start the third quarter, and then we'll know that it's going to be a nice cruise if we see that same effort and commitment on the defense.
Yeah, because Charlotte will pack up their tents and they'll just fold. I mean, if you get off to a good start, Charlotte will be done, and you'll win this game by 40 points.
And the encouraging thing is, with what they're running offensively, Jerry, they haven't even gone through 2 or 3 of the other looks that can possibly be there for them. So there's plenty of meat still on the plate for them to get.
Oh, yeah. I mean, basically, it's been a case of you run one option and there's an open shot. So Charlotte, as Grant said, I mean, Charlotte's putting up no effort here. and they're waiting to get out of the building and head to the next stop.
Yeah, they look horrible. They really do. And again, we talk about the standings now. Minnesota with the win goes to 32-27. They're in 7th. They are a half game up on Dallas, 31-27. And then the Warriors are 30-27. And if the Kings win this, they would be 29-28. So a little bit of separation now between 7 and 10 with how Minnesota is playing in the win column. And again, we keep talking about the Kings schedule in March. It is formidable, to say the least. A team that we haven't talked much about and we're going to see next week are the Houston Rockets. They're really struggling right now. They've lost 7 of 10 games, and they do not look like the same team in the first half of the season at all.
No, they've really lost their defensive intensity. Yeah. You don't see kind of got into the walk-arounds. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll come out of it, but your point's accurate. I mean, they're just not the same team, and so they're very beatable right now.
Yeah, I think teams are playing Şengün a little bit different too. He's getting an adjustment, much like Domas got towards the end of the Beam team year, but they are still a very tough matchup for the Kings.
I think they really are starting to miss Fred VanVleet a little more now as they've got it deeper into the schedule. A reliable veteran playmaker that can make some shots too. And so I don't know when he'll be back.
Yeah, they do miss him.
He'll give him when he gets back, I think he'll give him a little spark.
They definitely have missed him. He actually was listed as questionable for the game coming up tomorrow. So that would tell me he's getting closer. All right. Also, Dylan Brooks is listed as questionable for the game against the Bucks. And so it looks like they're starting to get a little bit more healthy. That is for sure. Well, we'll see. The Kings will see them next week. Jerry, appreciate it. Thank you very much for your thoughts. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, well, I think you guys are going to have a fun post game, and you're going to see some beam, and we all need.
Amen to that. Rhino, we'll talk to you after the game, buddy.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you in an hour or so right here on If You Don't Like That. Bye-bye now.